that the last 2 days at the ongoing 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup has been good for Africa, and it's been a wonderful result coming in from Australia and New Zealand. On that note, we welcome you to Nigerian Super Fans Forum. Of course, this is where we discuss everything African football. Kyle Ogundare is here, and of course, together we will be taking you on this awesome journey once again. Kyle Ogundare, once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Femi. It's always a pleasure.
Try to smile. Smile. Feel free to smile. Of course, the Super Falcons are in the knockout stages right now. At least feel free to smile.
Yeah, I am smiling.
Okay, all right, let's get started. Yesterday, it was Morocco against all odds. Of course, they lost their first game scandalously, but again, they came back against South Korea. South Korea, they are not a pushover when it comes to women's football. And earlier today, of course, we saw Zambia do it 3-1 over Costa Rica. And of course, the Super Falcons, they managed to force the Republic of Ireland to a goalless draw in that game. Of course, they qualify alongside host Australia to the next round. But let's talk about the Falcons. It wasn't the kind of game a lot of people expected. Maybe a lot of Nigerians, including myself, expected the Super Falcons to have it easy against the Republic of Ireland. But a lot of people felt disappointed.
Well, straight up, let me dissociate myself from those lot of people. I am not one of those people.
Femi, oh, really?
Yeah, I'm serious. Before the start of this competition, every Nigerian, living or dead, would take 5 points qualification to the next round. So, but I also admit that it is a measure of how the Super Falcons have played through this competition that people now feel underwhelmed by their performance, that they should have beaten Ireland, because Ireland are already out of the competition, 1, then 2, after beating Australia and drawing with Canada. Canada are the Olympic champions. Australia are in the top 10 and they are hosts, and we beat them right in front of their fans. They expected that the already eliminated Ireland shouldn't be a problem. That I understand. You should also look at it from the footballing point of view. The Irish will not want to go home without a point, without winning. And they gave it everything. At the point, you felt as if they had qualification for the final at stake. Number one. Number two, there are a lot of dynamics that has happened with the Falcons too, which hopefully we are going to get into as we progress in this conversation. So for me, it was a good game. By all indices, it was a good game. I am satisfied. I may not like the result, Femi, but I am satisfied with the performance. It shows that these Falcons, their strength is understated. In the game, you saw them switch on and off at will. When they needed to step up, they stepped up. There was a 20-minute belt that they were all over Ireland. It showed that a goal could have come from any of those, and we had the best chances too, Femi. We had the best chances. The Irish best player, their captain, number 11, McCabe, was kept quiet. A lot of people don't know that girl. I have seen their games all through the competition, and I know she comes highly rated, but they kept her quiet all through the game. So for me, that was also another major plus. So I have nothing but praises for the girls, Femi.
Okay, let's talk about the tactics now, Kyle. We saw Ireland came into the game with a 4-5-1 formation. Then the Super Falcons with a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Australia at the edge of the arrow. But it seems the first half didn't quite work out for Nigeria.
Yeah, you're right. While I am not going to take the cap of the coach and pretend I am the coach of the team, because the coach is the closest human being to the team, not us who stand thousands of kilometers away pontificating. While I am not the coach of the team and I do not want to claim credit, I agree with you that things could have been a little bit better earlier. If I have to say this, one of the few disappointing points of the competition so far for me has been Uche Nakalu. You know how much I rate that girl. You know her abilities and capabilities. She hasn't shown that too much. She has not done badly, but she has not shown what she's capable of all through this competition. You saw it in the first game. You saw it in the second game against Australia, even though she got a goal. I know what you were saying about her before she got that goal, Femi. So maybe she used that goal to shut you up, but all through this competition, in all 3 games, she hasn't lived up to the expectations the very high expectations I have of her. Now that they've qualified for the second round, I hope she's able to do all of those things and more, but she hasn't been fantastic. Going back to your question, the tactics didn't work out the way the coach even wanted. And you saw it immediately. They came in the second half. You saw that there was an urgency. The strong passes together much more than before. And they stepped up the play and attacking football. So for me, it just shows one thing, that this team is capable of much more than they did against Ireland. But you know what? They did the minimum that was necessary to go through. They needed the point, they got the point, and that was all that mattered for me. So I'm not going to keep whipping the girls over what has happened. Maybe the tactics was not 100%, but it was enough to get them through to the finishing line.
Okay, and of course, in the other game, in the same Group B, we saw Australia completely destroy Canada. It was quite a surprising result right there. Then next, the Super Falcons who were playing, I think the second team in Group B now, because Australia finished ahead of them. The Group D has England, Denmark, China, and Haiti. And it is looking like it will be either England or Denmark.
Well, they are going to play whoever is top of Group
D.
So there is likely going to be England, because England already have 6 points, and you expect them to win their last game. Well, we don't know, because China also needs that game in order to progress. Yeah. So that could be a cracker. But whatever happens, with 6 points, I think England are safe, and they look more like the team we're likely going to meet. Of course, we're going to talk about them in the days ahead. But for me, it's a very, very interesting prospect, and I look forward to it.
Okay, let's talk about Zambia. Unfortunately, they crashed out of the tournament today alongside Costa Rica. But Kayode, it's their first time they will be playing the FIFA Women's World Cup. And of course, Banda scored the 1,000th goal in the FIFA Women's World Cup. I think they will take a lot of courage back home. You know, their first time in the FIFA World Cup, and they got a win right in their first attempt.
Yeah, let me say, one of the things I see is that African football on the women's side now has come of age. This is a far cry from when Nigeria made our debut in 1991, when we were walloped left, right, and center. We have come of age now. Zambia, even though they lost to Japan and to Spain, through naivety, not that the gap was that wide, the results did not actually reflect the ability of the Zambian girls. For me, they had a lot of major injuries who were excluded from the team. That was also a big factor. But I saw flashes, even the games when they lost heavily to Spain and Japan, that these girls are they are capable of holding their own when the opportunity appears. Maybe it was a little too soon for them to play the mighty Spaniards and the Japanese, and they saw a team that was within their range. That's Costa Rica, and they feasted on Costa Rica. But what that shows is that they are also capable of playing at this level. All African teams, to be honest, all the 4 African teams have done well, for me, in my honest opinion. Morocco, they fought tooth and nail to get that win against South Korea. South Africa, even though they threw away their lead against, what do you call them, Argentina, they also showed that they could mix it with the big girls at any time. So for me, I hope, apart from Nigeria, one of Morocco or South Africa will also get through to the next round. Because for me, that's the essence. It makes the women game much more attractive. For me, and let me quickly add that this competition, especially this edition, has been a resounding success. Did you see the number of people at each of those games, even when the host team was playing? That's
today close to 25,000 naira. 25,000 spectators.
Yes, that was
that game.
Every ground they had a lot of people coming out to watch. That for me shows how much progress we have made in the women's game. And if Africa continues like this, I think the future is African.
Okay, but let's also put it in perspective that I like the money aspect so much. And of course, the Super Falcons and every other player will be playing in the round of 16. They stand to gain $60,000 bonus. Kayode, I think we have to give kudos to FIFA as well for being able to to put a lot of resources into this tournament, get sponsors, to push the women's game. And of course, the fact that they decided to pay these ladies directly rather than through their FAs, I think we have to give a lot of kudos to FIFA.
That's the very, very radical thing that FIFA has done, that I give them kudos for going into this competition, Femi, and I hope this continues, that they give money to players directly, because, and this is an indictment on African associations, Femi, because this was because of the Africans. Let's not deceive ourselves. We do not.
Are you sure, Kayode?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Because why I say so? Because I saw a report from FIFA. I think a number of European countries were also fingered in that report.
No.
The number
Femi,
of ladies
what they said
in the qualifiers were not paid that.
No, don't get it twisted. What they said was that they may not pay the girls as much as they should have paid them. But we see in Africa where the girls may not even get anything. Yes. We are looking at making a parity between the men and the women's game, so that you see this is going to happen to the men's game too. They are going to get the same amount of money as the women, because a goal is a goal anytime. So what will happen is the girls have gotten 30,000 for playing at all. Once your name is on the final list, you get 30,000 automatically. And the danger in this, Femi, from an African standpoint, is that those lists may be padded in future. You know what I'm saying? Players
like a padded budget here, right?
Yes, players could be taken to the World Cup, not because of their ability, but because somebody will have an arrangement with them that, okay, when they give you this 30,000 or whatever amount is going to be in future, you are going to take 50% and other people will share 50%. We've seen it happen before, Femi. It is not a new thing. Nobody's leaking a secret here. We all know these things happen. So for me, that's my fear. But then let's not cross that bridge until we get there. Let's stay in the moment and rejoice that FIFA is doing something right with the players, because this game is about the players. You can choose to play a football game without officials, without a coach, without a club president or a club chairman or FA president.
But not without players.
Cannot play without players. It is the players that make the game. So I'm very happy with this.
Okay, Kyrie, on Thursday, of course, South Africa, they will be playing their final game against Italy. We hope that they will, of course, be another African country to make it to the round of 16. Yeah, of course. And we have Morocco. Morocco will also be playing Colombia. That is going to be some tough game for them, because Colombia are the top of Group H right now. So we wish that the North Africans, it's also their first time at the World Cup. So we hope that they will be able to do the best. But Kayode, let's talk something about South Africa, the Bayana. Something very disturbing. I saw a report online where it was said that most of the officials on the coaching crew were forced on disarray list. And to some extent, it has affected the performance of the girls. I wouldn't know. We've not confirmed if it is true. But I don't know if you could recall, we knew the controversy that surrounded the preparation of this team before the World Cup. At the time, they said they were giving kits. They were much bigger than them. And their bonus was also a problem that CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe, had to even come in and offer the girls some money. Kayode, this is very disturbing. And you will expect that South Africa, with all the standards, that such a thing shouldn't even be happening at all.
Let me say that I do not put anything past anybody. That's one person cannot do this, one person can do. It's only one person that can do this. It would be unfortunate if that actually happened. We have not confirmed that yet. If that situation with the South Africans, that would have been unfortunate. But like I always say, Femi, in cases like this, I have employers. They employ me because they trust in my ability. The moment you show any sign that you do not trust my ability by imposing terms and conditions that I find that is inimical to my own success, to the success of the due responsibilities you've given me, Femi, it is not a thing of pride to walk away. So when you come out after the deed has been done to say somebody was forced on you, a player was forced on you, or an official was forced on you, I say that's Monday morning quarterbacking. That's you saying things after the event. For me, it doesn't make any sense. If I feel that I am working for you under duress, that I'm not doing this because I want to do it, but I'm doing it because you are imposing on me, Femi, I won't think twice. I walk away. It doesn't cost me anything to walk away. That's me.
Okay.
So that's me.
Okay, let's go back to the Super Falcons. What are the lessons that you think that the team, Randall Waldrum and his coaching crew, and of course, as well as the girls, can learn from this game? Because from this moment on, it's going to be tougher. What are the lessons that you think that we have learned or we should learn from this game?
That's a big one. But the first one for me was that the guys played with a lot of nerves, a lot of anxiety, because, Femi, don't forget, that game was a $30,000 game. That game stood between...
Now you're putting monetary cap on it, right?
No, I'm just saying, Femi, some of these girls have never seen this kind of money before. 30,000 already for being on the list, for playing in the first group stages, they made 30,000. Now they knew that playing that game, the Irish stood between them and 30,000 extra. So, and they didn't want to lose that game. It's probably played on the psyche of the girls that we dare not make mistakes. In trying not to make mistakes, they made those errors that they didn't want to make in the first place. And why do I know this? Because you saw them at intervals, they switched on and off. You saw that, oh, these guys are capable of taking. There were times that the Irish didn't even see their brake light at all. There was a time at the restart, beginning of the second half, they were just all over the Irish. And for me, let me quickly say this: my woman of the match will be our number 2, Alozie Michelle. That girl was everything a modern wing-back should be today on the pitch. So she's my third crush, Femi. You can say I keep changing crushes. No, I am gathering all of this.
I'm keeping the list.
I'm gathering crushes. She is my latest crush now, and I love her to bits. I saw everything she did. She put every foot right, Femi. Every foot was everything, every decision was right today. Say, of course, Tony Payne was peerless. She did all she needed to do too, and the same with Ebe. So all my three crushes, they all came to the party today. So for me, I think anxiety was one of it. The coaches, and I don't know if they have a psychologist, should work on them. That, you know what, progress against whoever you are playing next will mean more money for you, Femi. It's crazy the kind of money they stand to make.
So let's use money as motivation, right?
Femi, money is good, but they should not make it about money. Money is not a motivation. Let's not deceive ourselves. Money is not a motivation. If money were to be a motivation, I know the Saudis, for example, will be winning the World Cup now. If money alone can motivate players to do beyond their ability. But money is a very big factor. Their players, some of these girls have never seen 30,000. Let's not deceive ourselves. So tell them the importance that you are doing something that you are going to a realm that people have not been previously. Don't forget, at the beginning of this competition, a former Falcons star said she is not sure this team is capable of matching the achievement of 1999. They have it in their hands now. Those are the kind of motivational talks that you can use for them, that, you know what, you can, up to now, the 1999 set is the standard. Now you can better that. So there are a lot of things that could come into play as, what do you call it, as motivations for the girl. That's one. Then 2, I think they need to start well, much more quickly than they do. They start games so slowly. And against a sharper team, there could be a goal or 2 behind, and then it will become an uphill task. We see that. Then 3, I think we have not given these girls enough credit, Femi. They deserve more credit. They have more in the arsenal than we have seen so far. And this game, even though they threw it, gives me that conviction that they have more. So they could do more. We've not seen Monday Gift that well. You know me and Monday Gift.
I was going to talk about Monday Gift.
Yeah, I want to see her more in the team. And that tells you something about the strength and depth of this team. For me, if they have a Monday Gift on the bench, as young as she is, you saw her when she came in. You saw her moves that nearly resulted in the goal in the goal attempt by Ajibade, and Ajibade too has not played to her potentials. So there are a lot of players in this team. We have not seen Desire or Paranoze at all in this competition. So that tells you that we have strength in depth in that team, much more than we have seen. And see, regardless of how this competition pans out for me, Femi, I am already satisfied. Because what we have done is we have shown that we can mix it with the best in the world. We've been a long time that we've been African local continental champions. Now we have shown everybody that we are among the best in the world. And you see that our 40th position on the FIFA rankings, I'm sure that by now it would drastically come down to something much more respectable. So for me, I have seen a lot in this game to show that the future is bright for this team if they have a good coach. And Waldrum, despite what you said during the first half of the game, and I understand you were just being a fan. You see that I ignored your message to my phone.
Yeah.
I didn't reply because I felt you should wait until the end of the game so that you can take the game in totality before you make an observation. So for me, I'm not saying this was a perfect performance, but for me, when you just do the minimum you need to do, get through this stage. When you get to the other stages, you do whatever you need to do. So this shows that there's a synergy between Waldrum and the girls. They both understand each other. He knows the strengths and the weaknesses of each of these players and is playing them accordingly.
I think I found a secret. Now, I think before we go for any major international competition, I think we should be crucifying our coaches, because so that when they get there, they will use it as a motivation, just like the Wardrum has done. Because before the tournament, nobody even thought the Falcons.
I am not among those of you that we're calling for his head.
Really, I think we should cut the Super Falcons some slack, because, of course, Canada rated 7th according to FIFA. Australia, of course, they are 10th. So, and the Republic of Ireland also rated above the Super Falcons, but unfortunately, Canada and Australia now by tomorrow they should be on their way. Let's take a trip quickly to Ghana, and let's talk about today. The fixtures for the 2023-2024 Ghana Premier League will be released. But here in Nigeria, we do not even know when we are going to start the league. According to feeders, they said the league might start on August 26th, and that the IMC are proposing maybe a 2 format, which is another abridged season, then another lengthy season. But at the moment, we do not even know what we are going to get our hands on as far as the league is concerned for the moment.
I like to see. That's why a lot of people that reminds me. A lot of people say they question my nationality. They said I am more Ghanaian than Nigerian, because for me it is weird.
And I agree with them, right?
Well, you could. You are part of the enemies. They said wherever things work well within human understanding, within human control, is where I want to pitch my team. If the Ghanaians know they have a timetable and they are following it religiously, we are not saying everything is perfect in Ghana. No, there are a ton of complaints, but then they try their best. Now, I saw that silly discussion about whether there should be an abridged league or a full league and I asked myself, when you had the abridged league last season, why did you have it? So is that condition still present? Why are you afraid of having a lengthy, so that whoever is you now tell us that after the abridged format, you now have a Super 6 or Super 8. That's a lazy man thinking. Why don't you have a lengthy league, let every team play each other, so that whoever wins at the end of the day will know that this team actually deserves to be champions. Yeah.
So, sorry to cut in. The argument is that last season we saw a team like Doma United, a very small team with meager resources. They were able to stay within their conference, so to say, within the group. You know, they didn't have to travel around the country to play league fixtures. You know, they were able to manage their resources. So that is the argument a lot of people are actually holding up right now, that it will help small clubs in order to be able to, manage the resources and perhaps even create another shocker like we saw Remo and other clubs did.
For me, it is still a lazy man's argument, Femi. What I think, and I stand by this, no disrespect and no apologies to anybody, is football is big business. If Doma United, Remo Stars, Sporting Lagos, and all the other teams, they have the same claim that you say, not everybody has the big pockets of the government-funded teams. And I agree with that argument. But then we cannot continue to regionalize the league and then we expect to have a national champion who you play 18 games. At the end of the season, they say you are qualified for the Super Six, and you now go and play 4 games there, and they say you are champion of the country. For me, I do not agree. If you are either in it or you are not in it. Let everybody find creative means of making money from the game. When they do, they will be able to stand their feet against any opposition. So I do not agree with that argument, Femi. I don't.
Okay, Akari, let's talk about Mohamed Salisu. Of course, today he should complete his medicals at AS Monaco. And some discourse that I've seen online, Kyle, is that the French league is, according to Transfer Market, is the 5th best league in Europe, while the Premier League is number 1. So someone said, or some people, they said, okay, the championship should be like, okay, let's say number 3 or number 4. So some persons were arguing that maybe Salisu should have played with Southampton in the championship, saying that it is better than going to the French league. Do you agree? Someone said the status of the French is one of the reasons why even Kylian Mbappe doesn't want to play in the league any longer.
Well, a good player is a good player wherever they play. Although, yeah, we have agreed that leagues have an order of hierarchy. Some leagues are rated higher than others. But even at that, we've seen some of the best players in the world play in these leagues. We've seen Messi, he has played in PSG. We've seen Mbappe is playing there until he makes his move anyway. You understand? So I do not agree with you. Sometimes the fans do not understand what plays behind the curtains with players' decision to move from club to club. They don't understand much of that, Femi. Sometimes it is not the decision of the club, of the players themselves. 2 things will matter. Who is your suitor? Who wants you out there? Number 1. Number 2, is your club a selling club? When Southampton goes down, they are not able to maintain the salary structure that they paid their players when they had Premier League status. So when offers come for these players, they are willing to negotiate. And if no Premier League team comes, they have to go. And is Salisu ready? Was he ready to collect to get a slash in pay? No. So if there's any club out there, whether it's in France or Italy or Spain or wherever, that is ready to give him what he demands, his salary demands, that he thinks is reflective of his ability, then so be it. But players will feel like, of course, left for me, I want all African players to play in Real Madrid, Man U, Barcelona, Chelsea, Arsenal. But it's not possible. Who is out there looking for you? That's key. And don't follow transfer reports alone, Femi. I don't talk about transfer speculations. I only talk about deals that have been done, because I know how these things work, Femi.
Because things can change very quickly.
Crazy agents even float stories. They will tell you, their player is being looked for by 5-10 clubs when the player has not had one single inquiry. They just use it to kind of inflate the worth and price of their players. So some of the things we read in the news may not actually be that. It's possible nobody comes for these players. And even when they do, you can only negotiate with those who have come for your services. You cannot dictate where these players go. What will dictate is their club willing to sell? Is there a willing buyer out there? Those are the 2 things that are key. So for me, I think the most important thing is for Salisu to stay injury-free, be at the top of his game, and be ready to play for Ghana whenever they call on him.
Okay, so concerning Mohamed Salisu, of course, Fabrizio Romano confirmed it. And I also realized that Fulham had to choose Kevin Bassey over him. Remember, Kevin Bassey, he recently completed his move to Fulham. So I guess perhaps he wanted to play in a top division. Now, before we go, let's talk about the move of African players to the Saudi Arabian League. Sadio Mane is on the verge of moving to Saudi Arabia. Kalidou Koulibaly, Eduardo Mendy, Riyad Mahrez. What is going on?
Nothing is going on. Any player who is above 30 of African descent, please go to Saudi Arabia today. Go and get your retirement pay.
Yes. I think a lot of players want to change their agents right now, change to Kayode as the agent.
Yes.
All right. All right, Kayode Ogundare, thank you for always coming through on the show.
It's always a pleasure, my brother.
And of course, our fans around, of course, will be taking you ever closer to the action regarding African representatives playing at the ongoing FIFA World Cup. Please, let's support them. They are our very own. Morocco will be playing later. South Africa will be playing later. Unfortunately, Zambia are out. But the Super Falcons of Nigeria are into the knockout. So they will be waiting whether they'll be playing England, Denmark, China, or Haiti. Whoever, please, let's support them. We will see you later in the week on the Just for Fans Forum. Thank you for sticking with us. Bye for now.